Hello, hello, hello! Crafty Chris here to share another scrap your scraps. Um, Today we're going to make a one-page layout using washi tape and using gems and pearls and whatever. First thing we're going to do is create a wave that goes across the page. Now you can do this by hand, or you can use, I had these are for positioning words, but it has the curve that I'm looking for, so I'm actually going to steal it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of tape across the edge so I know where I start my curve. And this is repositionable tape, because I'm going to go across the top and I'm going to have to add on a little bit. And I want my space to be probably about 5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's make it 6. So this is where I'm going to stop, just so I have a point of reference. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, point of reference, and then I'm going to mark my ruler where my straight edge is going to be, because it has a rounded edge. So we are looking across here. I want my arch to go no further than that upper line and end. So I'm sort of eyeballing the extension over here, and I'm going to put my tape along on the outside edge so that I remember to line that up when I move down to do the matching line underneath. Now I'm very close to the audio, so I hope I'm not going to be too loud. Take my pencil. Better if you have a sharp pencil. I always have several pencils around. And I'm just going to follow my line. Woo! I shifted. Let's kind of fix that. Follow my line around. And then I'm going to finish this up by matching. Because I have to end up here. Yep. So we're just going to find something that kind of matches that angle. Like that. There we go. And that will finish me off there. Okay, so now I've got this sweep. I'm going to go down here and start my angle. And because I have this piece showing what my 90-degree line is, I just need to find my point where I'm going to start, line up my tape along that edge. Oh, just happens to meet at the bottom there. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go along this edge, and then I'm going to find that sweet spot where the two will connect. So that looks pretty good. And I have to match it to that angle. And I think that will do it. Yep. So there we have sort of matching lines, and now I'm going to erase some of the pieces I don't need and put away my tape, because my tape is reusable. So I like to get that out of my space, pop it on anything that's nearby, because I reuse and reuse that repositionable tape until it doesn't stick anymore. All right, so we're going to kind of get a white eraser out here and just take off any sort of additional lines, making sure that we more or less keep our shape. It doesn't have to be exact, but that's going to have to be the guide for where we position our washi. All right, I'll just draw a little line there just to fill in the gaps so you don't have to guess. And there is our wave. Alrighty. So now, as you can see here, I have 3 colors in each of the 6 primary colors. So I have purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. And we're going to start from one side and we're going to create strips that go in between these 2 lines. We're going to trim them off as best we can, but we are going to finish the edge with the glitter dots that I was talking about. So I'm going to turn my page sideways so I can have a nice straight angle to work with. I am going to start with purple. Now always washi is a bit dry in the beginning, so you want to get that off and destroy that. Now I am just going to line it up with the edge of the paper. And I know I'm going to have to trim here, so I get my little scissors out. And I have created more or less, it's hitting the top on the outer edge, and we have to sort of trim the edge that's going around the outside. So we're going to have little dots that are going to cover that. So it is going to look a little messy at first, but you're just going to sort of eyeball it and trim it as much as you can to this. And this is turning out to be more pink than purple. Sorry about that. So that's the first one. Then we're going to go and take off some of this non-sticky part, and we're going to go right up to that edge again, so that this point, the point farthest away, is near that edge. And we're going to bring it down along the edge of the other washi, and we're going to trim this. Nice thing about washi is it doesn't stick very well, so you have a little bit of time. There we go, little trimming, and I'm just creating a little pile of trims. And here we're kind of just gonna, there we go. Now, as you can see right here, I'm not exactly hitting the line, but I'm not worried about it because it will be filled in with dots of crystals and things. So that's number 2. I want to make sure I'm doing it in the same direction. I tried to get the washi more or less the same size, but it will just flow along. It may repeat before we get to the other side. Ooh, this is washi that is not good. This is the kind that is hard to peel. Okay, this is not going to work because it's just all kinds of breaking up on me. So we're toasting that. That's going to become something that I use to stick things down. We don't have any more purple washi, so I am going to put another row of this. And I think I'm going to turn it upside down so it's a little bit different. So that goes along there, and it's close to the same angle, but not quite. And you really want to get them flush against each other. You don't really want there to be any gap. There we go. And just going to trim this off. So it's a little finicky, but it gives you a really pretty result. Okay, now we're moving on to dark blue with gold. And this one again, not very sticky at the top, so we'll take some of that. And we're going to line it up along the edge. And this one tears so easy. Just going to tear it with my finger. There we go. And just going to trim this little bit. There we go. And along here. Little challenging. Okay. There we go. Like I said, it doesn't look pretty until you finish it. Alrighty. Then we're going to take the next blue one. Oops. Still got some of that guy on me. And we're going to put it down the next line. Get rid of some of the dried up stuff. Washi is one of those things I really love buying, but I find that I have a hard time using it up. It's just so pretty. I just like buying it. There we go. And we're going to lift this and trim this a little bit. There we go. And then the next blue, if I can find the opening part. And this seems quite stuck as well. Let's see. This one's a bit sticky, but it will definitely work. We just got to be careful getting it off. Line it up along the edge there. Push it in. Okay. And now we're going to trim it again. So you can see my process. I'm not going to have you sit and watch the whole thing. And I'll be back when I have the arch done, but you can get an idea of what's going on. These unfortunately are too close in color, but that's all I have right now. So we'll move through the other colors and hopefully we'll get a nice spread of color. And I will be back when I have completed the rounds. Okay, here we are with the finished look. I'm not sure if I want it this way because it's a little short down here. I'm thinking I might want to turn it this way because it gives me a little more room down here. So I'm liking what's going on here. Now my image in my brain is to have circle photos, and I'm thinking of 3 because I like to do things in odds. So I have some plain white cardstock, and I think I'm going to go for, I have a 4 1/8. These are my circle things that I've shown you before. That when I have odd sizes of things that I need to make mats for or whatever, I just cut one for the tracer and keep the other one for the actual project. So this is 4 1/8, which is a good size. It still shows some color. Maybe that might be a little bit too big. Let's just look back here. Oh, I have nothing in the 3s. Right, so I'm going to have to make a 3. Okay. So there's 4 1/8. And I think I might want something smaller for the other 2 for sure. And I don't have any 3s. So I'm going to have to make a 3. I just have a 3-inch, but I think that, oh, maybe the 3-inch will be fine. Oops, just undid all of them. Alrighty, so here's a 3-inch. So I like the contrast. I'll just throw these together here because I made a mess. And there we go. Okay, put those away. Now, what are the size of the insides of these? This is just under 3. Don't really want that. What about this? This is 3 exactly, which I already have. And okay, so maybe I'm going to show you a 4-inch. I'm going to do a 3 and a 4-inch, and I'll show you how I do that without any tools. If you have tools, that's great. Go ahead and cut. Otherwise, watch for instructions. So I want to keep the 3, which is perfect. Now I could go up to 3 3/4, or I could come down 3 3/4. So maybe I'll do that. So I'm going to trace this on here. This is 4 1/8, but I do not want it to be 4 1/8. I want it to be 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4. So this is, get my ruler, 4 1/8. So I just get to the point where 4 1/8 lines up. That's more or less it. And now I'm going to do 3/4. So the difference between 3/4 and 4 1/8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. So I'm going to do 2 1/2/8 here, 1, 2 1/2/8 here, and 1, 2 1/2/8 on this side. So I'm going to turn my circle around and line up for my 4 1/8 again, and I'm going to do 1, 2 1/2/8 here, and 1, 2 1/2/8 here, and I'm just going to keep doing that until I have some guidelines that I can sketch by. Okay, 1, 2 1/2, 1, 2 1/2. Oops. It's a little bit of a process, but I'm going to make 2 of them. So 1, 2 1/2, and 1, 2 1/2. So now I'll have a 3 3/4 one in my group. Okay, so 2 1/2, 2 1/2. Two and a half, 2 1/2, and I just go all the way around the circle doing this. Whoops, trying to make sure it's even Steven. 2 1/2, 2 1/2. And when I think I have enough to follow, I two and a half, do a sketch, 2 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to sketch, trying to keep my eye looking even between here and here. This is not a perfect science, but it'll get you what you need. Sometimes it's easier to go top to bottom, get more of a circular motion happening. Okay, so there is my rough sketched out circle. Now I'm going to cut this just away, and I'll do my cutting off screen. But I want to show you, I just follow along the dots more or less. So I try to keep my scissors cutting around along where the dots are. And if you're really good, you can do it without the sketching. I am not really good, so I always like to have the sketching there. And then I have this circle. So then what I do is I get a darker surface, because this is like literally white, and I just look for little pointed spots. So if that's a pointed spot, I just trim it down a little rounder and try to eliminate the pointed spots, because that's where I'm needing to round it a little more. Little pointed spot there. There we go. A couple pointed spots here. And otherwise, I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty circular. So we're going to go with that, and let's just see how the measurement ended up. Let's put it in here. And we have, oh, was I going for 3.5? Because that's what I ended up with. Okay, somehow my math did not work out, but that's all right. We have a 3.5 inch circle. Good enough. And now I'm going to cut a second one. That's my 3 inch that's going to go. And I'm going to get another piece and cut a second one, because I want that second one as my one that I keep. Okay, I have a piece of scrap paper here. Not the right kind of paper, but good enough. So this one I'm just going to now trace onto here. This is going to be my test. Actually, that's thicker paper, so I'll keep that for this. And I'm just going to trim this out really quickly. So when you're using up your scraps, if you don't have tools, you can make tools, and then they come in handy and get used over and over and over again. And this by no means is super perfect, but if somebody is looking and measuring your circles, you don't need to have them as a friend. I think it's good enough. There we go. And I'm going to write 3.5 inch circle. Hole punch it. Here's my hole punch. Turn around. Oops. Get it in the right place. And there we go. And now that will go back on the ring with the others. And we're just going to finish off cutting this circle, which we already had made from the previous time. And I've only done one of these, and I probably wanted to really have 2 of these, but I'll do the other one afterwards. But I wanted to show you that you can make your own mats and things. You don't need to have special gear for it. And if you have them in 1/4 inch increments over time, you can use them to cut your photos too. You just have to know how to line it up and play with that a little bit. All right, so moving on. So now we're going to get all of our doodads and whatnots, and we're going to place them along the bottom of our ridge. So go grab your crystals and your pearls and your mini buttons and anything you have that follow these color lines. Okay, as you can see, I have tons of crystal embellishments and pearl embellishments and things. So I have a smattering of everything. I think I'm going to start with the purples, which I have less of, if I'm not mistaken. And that's all blues. This purple is not going to work. That purple might work. Okay, so we're going to start with the purple. So I have purple gems here, large gems. Actually, different size gems. And I am going to need a set of tweezers. These are my tweezers. Okay. So these ones don't have adhesive on them. And I have a variety of different adhesive. I have medium-sized dots. I have mini dots, glue dots. And I have small, which is probably going to be the one I'm going to use. So on the purple, I'm going to do a combination of pearl, flat, and these guys. So first I want to kind of figure out how I'm going to do that. So I have all this space that I have to cover here and then on the other side as well. So we're going to take the small ones and we're going to put a small one on each side, right up to the edge. And then we're going to take a medium one. We're going to blast that in there. And large one we can put right on the edge of this. So I'm just playing around with laying them out. Now I'm going to go in and get my pearls. I'm only going to put the small pearls where there is, you know, space for them. If I don't want to show paper around them. So maybe we'll put a small dot there. Okay. I cannot use these tweezers because they're going in the opposite direction of what my brain is working with. Yeah, there we go. These are real tweezers. The other ones are inverted. So if I put that one there, whoop, they do go flying. If you press too hard, and that one there. So I'll just do the purples to show you what I'm doing, and then we'll move on to you doing your work and me doing my work, and we'll come back and we'll share what we've seen. Okay, so that can go there, and medium-sized one can go on this side, a little bit closer to this guy. Make sure there's enough room there though. There we go. I'll move it over just a little bit. There we go. And then a large we'll put on that side. And the other ones haven't been stuck down yet, so we know that. These guys get stuck down. with doodads. I'm just trying to share out some of the space. Okay, and now let's see what we have. We're going to use these guys. And I like the darker ones, so ooh, these don't move off very well. Oh, okay, so we may have to use our fingers for these ones. We're going to line it up. Okay, and where was that other package of the, now see, they look pink. Yeah, we're not going to use those. We don't have purple anywhere else. Okay, so we're filling up with these purple guys. So I think I am going to go, the light purple looks all the same size. So it's going to get squeezed in there too. Okay, so those three are secure. That one isn't, so let's get those secured. This is medium dots, too big. So we're going to use the small dots. Yes, my space is a mess at the moment, but it will all be good. So I'm going to put this on the back of this guy. Rub it. And then press this guy down right beside that one. Same goes with this one. This one I may need a smaller dot. So we're going to go with our minis for that one. I haven't even started the minis. Okay, so that goes like that. Oh no, this is a whole different system. The minis are on the inside. Oh, I don't like this. Okay, so it's not a pull-through thing. You actually have to. Wow, these are super mini. I might need two of these. One, two, and there you go. Okay, we're starting to look good here. And so I'm going to put this guy down. First, we're going to put the little purple guy right beside that one. And then we're going to put this guy right beside that one. And then this guy is going to go right there with a medium dot. No, a small dot. That's medium. This is smalls. Rub it well. And he goes right there. And this guy has too many dots. Mini. And whoops. Mini. And he goes right there. There we go. Just going to rip off this extra paper. And let's see, we need to put some of these guys in there. So I'm going to take a large one, give it, oh, and we need to put these guys, they need minis too. Mini goes that way, and mini goes that way. There we go. And then we're going to put a big purple dot there and a small purple dot there. Wow, it's amazing how that fits so perfectly. And there's our first edge. Big purple dot there. And a small purple dot there. There we go. So let me lift that up so you can see what I've done. So this is the effect. Okay, so we're going to continue that all the way along to the other side of the page. All right, and we'll see you shortly. Okay, so we have finished, or I have finished, hopefully you have as well, our combination of pearls, gems, and epoxy dots. And I had one of these little three-dimensional roses. Let me see if I can get close enough. And it just fit in that spot. And it's kind of like that little secret that nobody knows about until they really kind of look at it. And so there's something secret in this page. So anyway, there is the finished work. I'm loving this. It's so vibrant and pretty. And now I've got to put a title on it. So I pulled out a couple of things that I had, and I found the words today. And I like this spot down here because I can get two of the big sort of puffy stickers in here. So I have today and fabulous. But I couldn't find the word was in anything. So I'm going to make the word was out of, I don't know if I'm going to use red or purple. I kind of like purple, leaning more towards the purple. So I'm going to put the word was, and I think I'm going to do it in small letters because they're tinier. So first let's sort of figure out how we're going to lay this out. So today and was will go here, and fabulous. So let me kind of measure. I want to give myself maybe at least a ½ inch from the bottom. That's why I like these mats. So I'm going to lay out my sticker. By the way, these puffy stickers that have foam in them, you want to pull the backing off rather than pull this off the front, because if you pull this off the front, you'll get little fold lines. So when you have it, you're going to pull from the back and just hold the front. And that's now garbage. And I think I'm going to have it ½ inch up and about an inch from the side, making sure that that is more or less straight. Looks good. Press it down. This is today, but I'm not going to put today yet. I'm just going to have that sitting there ready to go, but I'm going to put the word was. And as I said, I'm going to do it in the purple. I've just made my decision. And here we go. W, A, just stick those on my hand. S. There we go. These are cardstock letters from some other collection. And I am just going to figure out where I want that to live. So if we put the S there, a little bit up, I think. And I'm not sticking them down, I'm just kind of placing them there because I want to see how the whole thing looks when I have it lined up. Today was fabulous. Just going to kind of push that over a little. And how do I like that? You know what? I like that. So let's get, this is like at I may have to lift this up to actually look at it because it's hard to get things even without having it straight in front of my eyes. With the camera overhead, it doesn't really help me. And I'm just going to see if, oh, that's not so bad. Push these up just a little bit. There we go. And then I can now put my today, and as I said, I'm holding my piece, pulling from the back so that I don't pull up and bend my foam word. And try and line that up with 1 inch. Today was, give it a little more space. Oh goodness, these are very sticky. And see, now I'm getting all those wrinkles in it. I will stand up and look down on it. Pink. That will be even. Looks good enough. Today was fabulous, and I'm going to obviously, I might even move that down a tiny bit. It's a little closer to one than the other. These guys pop up fairly easy, so I can move them down a little bit more. Today was fabulous, and there it is. I think that looks pretty straight. Alrighty, and then in with these letters there was a couple of butterflies, and I thought it would be really great to throw on a couple of butterflies. I'm going to leave this spot because that's a place where I can journal. I'm going to throw a large butterfly up in that corner, smaller one coming down in the opposite direction, and then this little guy we're just going to put over here, or maybe here, or maybe there. Yeah, I like it there. So I'm just going to put that right now. And I don't know, maybe I should have this guy flying down and this guy flying up. Yeah. And I'm not going to put him in the center. I'm just going to put him off to the side of this space. And this one is just going to go in this top corner. Very simple once we got that whole banner business happening. And then, as I said, so I have a 3 1/4 photo that is going to fit on this 3 1/2 mat. So that's going to end up being a 1/4 of an inch, like 1/8 of an inch around the whole thing. And because you have to remember both sides. And these two are going to be 2 3/4 inch photos on a 3 inch mat, which gives you the same 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And I'm going to tuck them just 1/8 of an inch under. So this is where my main photo is going to go. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the bottom of here. So this is going to tuck under about 1/8 of an inch and right up the top edge there. Okay. So that's going to tuck under 1/8 of an inch, and then this guy is going to go up there. So let me get that happening. So 1/8 of an inch here, and 1/8 of an inch there. Awesome. Now, of course, you're going to figure out what photos you're going to put on here. And if you want to decorate it more, I am going to put some glitter stuff on the was, and probably put also some epoxy, like glossy accent stuff. This is where I'm going to put a small insert for what happened, but I'm not going to put in a journal card. I'm actually going to just lightly draw some lines and write with my handwriting, and then erase the lines afterwards. So there it is, folks, your washi tape waves. I'm going to call this the washi tape wave layout, and it's done. See you next week. Bye.